Hi everyone, welcome to E-commerce Success by Ad360, the channel that makes you happy, productive and successful. Today we're going to review a Shopify store which was shared on the e-commerce subreddit, and we're going to see if we can provide some tips to that person to increase sales and improve their website. And we're going to talk about call to actions. Call to actions is a fundamental subject often overlooked by business owners. It's a mistake because call to actions, these buttons that lead customers to click on buy now, shop now, see product, it's a fundamental and vital step in the purchase process. So if you don't get this right, you might be losing a lot of conversions and make your website less efficient, your ads less efficient, and everything else is going to yield more sales, less revenue. So let's try and talk about that today. Before we do that, if you enjoy this content, please put a like button on this video, put a comment below, subscribe to the channel. All these actions are going to signal YouTube you get value from these videos. It's going to help us get promoted and shared to more people so we can provide help and advice to as many business owners as possible. So thank you for taking the time to do that. This video is brought to you by Ad360. Ad360 is the easiest way to increase your Shopify sales by managing all your ads in one place, including Google, Facebook, and retargeting all over the web and mobile apps, but more on that at the end of the video. Okay, let's jump right in. So this is the post by King Troy 1230 posted on Reddit in the e-commerce subreddit. And so they explained the story. They used to do drop shipping and now they're focused more on like one product. They're trying to build a brand around it. I think it's a good direction to go in. Yesterday I made a video on building a trusted brand and how to create a connection with the viewer and how this trust is going to play a fundamental role in the purchase. I think it's much easier to do that if you focus on one product, one area that you create a lot of content around it, a lot of value. I think it's much easier to do that. So I think that's a good idea. So let's have a look at the website. So this is the website. So first of all, I must say the website has a lot of content in it. So it's super cool. You have it's very visual. You have a lot of things about the product. You have some features display. You have some images and videos of the product used in context. You have a lot of nice reviews, so that's really cool. You have some social proof, so Instagram posts from people showcasing their product, being happy about the product. So that's really cool. So, and you have some blog content. So that's all of that is really nice. So I think overall you did a great job with the website. I can clearly see a lot of work went into that. So I'm going to only focus on some little details which I think you can improve, and maybe nailing them is going to make a significant difference in your conversion rates. Because so yesterday we published on our own blog in the Ad360 website, we published an article on call to actions explaining why call to actions are so important, how you want to make them right. And this article links to several studies which show that if you get things right with your call to actions, you can increase conversion rates by as much as 200+%. So that's a huge amount of conversions which are overlooked or wasted or lost because people don't put their call to action in the right way. So if you don't know what the call to action is, it's these little buttons with an action, like shop now. So you're calling the user to do something because it's nice to see the product, learn about it, but at the end of the day, your goal is to sell this product. So you're driving visitors towards a specific goal, which is to shop the product. So this is good. So these are what we call call to actions. Now, the problem in your website is that I think you're losing a lot of conversions because people may not trust the website very much. Why is that? That a few little details, which are the good news is it's going to be easy to fix, but there can be big red flags. The first one is the favicon is not working. I noticed that right away. You could say it's one of my pet peeves. I notice that all the time, but I'm not the only one. I read a study the other day saying up to 17% of your conversions could be lost just because people don't trust your website enough to put their credit card details on it. There are still many people out there which do not trust every website they come across, especially if it's a new brand, they don't really know it well. And people are still a bit wary about giving their credit card details on your new website. And the slightest detail, may deter them from making the purchase. And they're going to go shop somewhere else from a competition. It's really harsh competition nowadays. You have to be top notch. And so the missing favicon is a really big red flag. I made a whole video on that. I will put the link in the description where you learn why it's such a big problem and how to fix this. And in the video I show in less than 1 minute how you can fix this super easily in Shopify. The second thing I noticed is this text. You see you have three pictos, 3 images here, and the text is not lined up very well with the pictures. So you have some white space, so it's looking a bit weird. And lastly, and most importantly, the call to action buttons are very weird. And this is the most important problem that you can fix. And again, it's not going to take a huge amount of efforts to fix. But if by fixing that you increase by 200% your conversion rate, that's a big jump in revenue you're going to make just from a small effort. And it's such a shame to see a lot of work being put on the content, the website, the images, the social proof and reviews being, negatively tainted by a few technical problems. So what are these problems about the call to action? So there are at least 5 different things that you have to get right with your call to action buttons. The first one is consistency. The call to action buttons have to be consistent everywhere on your website. Now, in some cases, you can have a primary call to action and a secondary one, but they have to be somewhat similar. And the secondary will have, maybe just the outline, but they will generally have the same style, just be a bit smaller, maybe just the outline, but they will have the same style. You can't have something like this, where you have 2 call to action buttons, which have nothing alike. Like, besides the color, everything is different. The shape is different. This one is really big with a lot of white space on top and below. This one is really narrow. The shape is different. This one is rounded. This one is more rectangular. The size is different. This one is really big. This one is quite small. The animation is different. When I mouse over, this one has a black shadow versus a white overlay on this one. The font is different. This one is more cursive, and this one is very different from this one. The font size is different, and this one is bigger, and this one should be even bigger than this one. They should be on the worst case scenario, they should be same size, but if one call to action is bigger, the text within it should be bigger as well. So first rule is consistency. So you have to make them consistent everywhere on the website. The second rule is color. Color, the most important thing about your call to action buttons is that they get noticed. If they're not noticed, they won't be clicked on and people won't go to the product page and won't buy it. So the worst thing that could happen to a call to action is not get noticed. Now you might think, oh, but everybody's going to see this call to action. No, not everybody's going to see it. And nowadays the attention span, the study says, is 3 seconds. And the link of the study is in the blog article, which you can find in the description. So people going to go on your website, skim through, they get to the bottom, they don't see any call to actions, and they leave, right? That's why a lot of people use bright colors for their call to action buttons. On Netflix, we'll come back to that, it's red. On Amazon, it's yellow or orange. On eBay, it's blue. Sometimes it's green. It has to be a bright color. Sometimes it's black, but it's when the website is very white, and for luxury brands they usually use black. But here you have a lot of colors, bright colors, a lot of images. So I think you should have a brighter color for your call to action buttons. Now don't take my word for it. What you have to do is do A/B testing, right? You have to test different versions, compare the results, and if by changing the color you increase your sales, then keep that color, right? Don't trust me on that, trust the data. But if I were you, so I would test out the different colors. You could either use your primary color, but maybe in a brighter tone, So like a pink or red, or you can use a complementary color. So for you could be something like green. Green goes well with red and perhaps pink. But you have to test what works best. Okay. The third rule is the text, and the text has to follow a few guidelines within your call to action. First, it should be easy to understand. It should be meaningful to the user. So that you're making a good job. So it's shop now. It's always shop now. It's clear to understand. We understand what's going to happen when we click, and it's consistent. So that's good. Now the other guidelines about the text is, first of all, it should be bigger than the surrounding text around the button. So here you're not doing a good job with that. This text above the button is bigger than the text in the button. So that's not good. What you want to do is like Netflix, where the text in the button is bigger than the text around the button. Again, it's to make the button more visible and to make it stand out. So this should not be not as big as the main title, but definitely bigger than this text here. So you have to fix this. And here it's, I think, the same size as this, so you have to make it a bit bigger here. Okay, the fourth rule is about the position of the button. Usually, it's quite weird to have it on the right side. Usually when you look at heat maps and where, you know, the eyesight of people browses on the website, usually they're more on the left. So I'd be interested if you, again, don't trust me on this, do A/B test, compare results, but maybe try invert the image, put it, you know, like with the arm on the right side and with the text on the left side, and see if it makes a difference. So usually placement is important. The other thing which is mentioned in the blog article we published yesterday is a study showed that if there is more space around the button, so around the button more space, then it gets more noticed, and this can increase conversion rates by as much as 232%. That's more than 200%. That's huge. So you could triple your conversions just by making more space around your buttons. Here it's a bit too close to the text and too close to the bottom of the page, especially if I'm like this on the first screen I see on your website. The button is hard to notice because it's so close to the bottom of the screen. I think, you know, this text should be higher, maybe somewhere around here, and this button, there should be a lot more white space around it. Same for this, I think it's too close. These buttons are doing a better job because there's a lot of white space below, but I think you should maybe detach it even a bit more from this paragraph, so maybe put an extra space. This sounds like a small detail, but it could make a massive difference, up to 200% improvement in your conversion rates. Okay, and the last thing is the number of call to actions. You shouldn't be shy about putting call to actions on your website. You're already doing quite a good job because you have this one on the top, you have here a few products with their call to action. And some people stop here. That's a big mistake. You need to have several call to actions below on your website in the middle content, especially if you add additional information. Like this is really good. Then the big problem I see for you is you don't have a call to action at the bottom of the website. So if people are really into it, and you know, the people that might be the most interested in your website content, they read everything, they look at this, they read the reviews, they look at the content, they read these excerpts on your blog articles, and they get to the bottom, and I don't know where to get next. Navigation is not super clear. You don't have to assume that your visitors will make the effort to understand they have to scroll back up to find again a shop now button or a product. They won't do that. Like, you don't have to rely on people making an effort for you. You should make the effort to make the navigation on the website super seamless, super fluid, very easy to understand. So you have to put a call to action at the bottom of the homepage. That's super important. If you look at Netflix, so they have this first call to action, and then you have one at the very bottom. So if I read everything and get to the bottom, I know where to go next, right? It's obvious. You have to make it easy and obvious for your users. Okay, I think if you fix these small details, the favicon, the text alignment, and the button consistency, adding a call to action button at the bottom, you're going to make a huge difference in your website. I'd be super curious to hear feedback from you if you implement these changes. I'd be super happy if you could share with me if they really made a difference. I wish you a lot of success, and I noticed in your post you asked if it's a good time to do ads. If you do decide to do ads, feel free to reach out and contact me. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of free services, free consulting, and free audit for people that want to get started with advertising. We do that because we're a new app at 360. We just released last week on Shopify. So our goal now is to get known, get our brand out there, help as many people as possible, so that once they get ready to start advertising, they consider us to help them get faster results. And so with Ad360, you can manage all your ads in one place. You have one simple app that you can download in the Shopify App Store. And then from your Shopify store, you can manage Google ads, Facebook ads, and you can implement retargeting. Retargeting is super important because it's the most efficient form of advertising out there. And you can run retargeting anywhere on the web and in mobile apps. It's not limited to social media and search engines like Google. You can run ads anywhere on the web, on a specific website that talk about skincare, beauty, and that could be news articles that speak about that. That could be dedicated websites. It could be small blogs where people talk about that, and they're going to be more likely to be interested in your product. So that's something you should definitely explore. So if you want to get more information, if you want to get help setting up all your advertising accounts, we'd be super happy to provide free services to help you get all things set up in the right way. So there will be a link in the description below to book a call with us, and we can show you a demo of the app, how it works, and then we can help you fix. If you want help, we can help you fix all these things about the favicon, the buttons, the text, and we can do a full audit of all your website and marketing strategy and marketing accounts, help you fix everything so that you get a head start in your growth. Okay, I wish you a lot of success. I look forward to hearing from you. See you soon on the channel. Bye.